What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? We are back live on the Jets Media Podcast, and the Jets lost in embarrassing fashion. That's it. That is a wrap of the show. We'll see you guys next week.
Thank you guys so much for the support this season. It's been a fun one. It's been up and down, but that'll do it for the Jets Media Podcast.
Oh, gosh.
What is there to say, bro?
Here we go. All over again.
At least it was nationally televised.
At least we got to see the most embarrassing first half of football I've seen in quite some time. And it is another yet frustrating live stream podcast the day after a game. I wanted to be celebrating a little victory Friday heading into the new year, but instead we're suffering yet another embarrassing defeat. And Jack, I said on the Jets roundtable yesterday with you and Matt O'Leary and Ryan that I wasn't expecting to win, but all I really wanted was to just not get embarrassed and just show like, hey, there's something to build on and there's something to be excited about. And that didn't happen. The Jets went out there, and the defense was the biggest issue, in my opinion, that first half. Joe Flacco putting up a career-high pass yards in the first half. I mean, we're talking about Joe Flacco, who has been in the league forever, and he goes out there and does something against this Jets pass defense that we've not seen them do in over 33 games. So we're going to give you guys our thoughts. We're going to open this up to callers eventually as well. Don't forget to hit that like button. Shout out to everybody tuning in on Twitter, on Instagram, and on YouTube. This is the Jets Media Podcast. You guys can find us over on Apple and Spotify, as well as YouTube, of course. So let's get straight into business. Jack, man, I mean, I don't really want to ask how you're feeling because I kind of know the answer, but give it to me.
Listen, man, I mean, this just reaffirms my belief that there's no way anybody deserves to come back next year. When I say anybody, I mean Robert Saleh, I mean Joe Douglas, I mean Nathaniel Hackett. But, we're stuck in this world where Woody Johnson doesn't have the balls to do what needs to be done and fire the people that need to be fired. Robert Saleh is now, I believe, 17-33 or something like that, 32 as the head coach of the New York Jets. So not good.
Not good.
Not good at all.
Nope.
Joe Douglas is even, he's had 2 more years on top of Saleh, so it's even worse than that. It's like 20-something and 50-something. It's just crap, man. These guys are crap. These guys are, for every good thing Joe Douglas has done, he's taken massive steps back, and I don't think Robert Saleh has done, many good things at all. And I know we got to give him credit for this defense, but I'm so tired of that, bro. I cannot tell you how tired I am of saying, well, Saleh built the defense. This defensive scheme is Saleh, whatever. I don't care, dude. I'm not even going to give my argument as to why that's nonsense because I've done it so many times. All you guys have to know is that Robert Saleh is not the defensive coordinator. He's the head coach. One side of the ball is atrocious, and yesterday we saw not too great of a performance from our stud defense as well. Listen, man, at the end of the day, the Cleveland Browns are better than us literally in every way. On defense, on special teams, on offense, coaching. They're better than us in every way. So obviously we weren't expecting to lose this game, but to go out there and get embarrassed by Joe Flacco, who was on this roster last year. And I know Joe Flacco would not be the Joe Flacco he is right now, playing with this Jets offensive line and all that stuff, yada, yada, yada. I get it. But when you look at Joe Flacco, you look at Mike White taking the kneel downs again, when we play the Miami Dolphins. You look around the league, you look at, Jake Browning and Minshew and just all these backup quarterbacks that are playing significantly better than anybody we've seen play in a Jets uniform this year. It's got to fall on coaching, dude. Trevor Siemian is just a guy. I'm not coming down on Trevor Siemian too hard.
He also went terrible.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I'm not going to come down on Trevor Siemian too hard.
He played like a backup quarterback last night.
That's what I'm saying. So like he's just a dude that tries, but it's the organization that puts him in this place.
I think it's the complete coaching failure. Joe Flacco 1-8 as a Jet, 1-8 as a Jet, 4-1 as a Brown. I mean, what else do you need to know about it? And yeah, Flacco had a different offensive coaching staff last year with the Jets than the Jets have this year. He had LaFleur and that whole offensive regime. But the reality is the Jets coaching is the biggest failure, in my opinion, in this year. I really look around the NFL, and I don't think there's one excuse you can give for Robert Saleh and the coaching staff anymore. I really don't. And we already talked about it even before the game last night, that the Browns are a spitting image of what the Jets should be this season, even without their starting quarterback in Deshaun Watson, even with Nick Chubb going down for the season. Their offensive line is injured. Nobody's making excuses in Cleveland, and they're going out there and they just made the playoffs for the second time in 22 years, and nobody is, upset about the injuries over there in Cleveland because they have a great coaching staff. They have a great culture now, and this isn't something that's been stable, right, for the Cleveland. This is kind of new for them, which is exciting for Cleveland fans, but it's just really unfortunate because you see what they can do, and you're looking at the Jets, you're like, Saleh, What's going on here? You have the backup quarterback. You're supposed to have this top defense. Your model on offense is at least supposed to be running the football. Where was that all season long? And you go back in time and you look at the season in a whole, that L to the Patriots, that L to the Falcons, the Raiders, the Chargers, those four are going to be hanging over the heads of the New York Jets 2023 season of why they were not able to make the postseason. Because if they won 2 of those 4 games, we'd be actually sitting in a situation right here to still be alive in the playoffs. And the fact that the Jets were mathematically eliminated from the playoffs like 2 or 3 weeks ago is ridiculous. That can't happen. At least be in the dance until the end with Aaron Rodgers injured. They couldn't even make an absolute stride, and now they're playing for potentially beating the Patriots, just to have the same exact record as they did last year. No improvement whatsoever. And the Jets, yet again, coaching is my biggest issue this season for the Jets. I really, really put this more on coaching than anything else. I think that the personnel, you can argue certain things, but like, dude, I know that it's a big debate of who's to blame more, Joe Douglas or Robert Saleh. And I'm sorry, I'm leaning more towards the coaching. And I'm not saying Joe Douglas does not deserve blame. I'm going to give him a lot of the blame because he did not do a lot of good things to put the Jets in this situation. But I really look at this coaching and I look at the situation on offense and the situation on this entire team. And I think the fall of the blame for me personally is on the coaching staff.
100%, man. I mean, Joe Douglas obviously needs to be blamed as well. And I know you agree with that. You just said it. But this coaching staff, man, is just absolutely brutal. I mean,
the penalties are just like, it's too much.
I was just gonna say, bro. I mean, we're on the same wavelength already today. But the penalties continue to be an absolute joke. Salah's demeanor on the sideline continues to piss me off and piss other Jets fans off. And Rich Cimini even asked him about it last night. You know, Robert, are you gonna, what are you thinking? Can you tell us what you're thinking? You look very stoic on the sidelines. Robert Saleh got mad. He's like, what am I supposed to throw the podium, Rich? Like, no, but, give us something, Robert Saleh. I understand, we're not aware of what goes on behind closed doors. We're not aware of what goes on in the facility. But as fans, we only get to base it off of what we see on the television. So if I'm seeing the same garbage week in and week out, his team looking unprepared, undisciplined, and then him standing there like a statue with no emotion, what am I supposed to think? It's just a joke, man. Like you said, the excuses are gone. They were never there to begin with, but they're gone.
No, yeah, absolutely.
When you look at the Colts, when you look at the Browns, when you look at the Jaguars, when you look at any of the other teams that are playing better with backup quarterbacks, there's no excuse
even
for this
the
coaching
Seahawks,
staff,
Drew Lock came in there.
The Seahawks, dude.
It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. Guys, don't forget to hit that like button on your way in. We got the first super chat of the day. Julian says, did you guys see the video of Clemens saying F you to the fans? Jack did tell me about that. I didn't really see the video.
I did, man. And that pissed me off as well, man. Listen, I'm all for passion and, everything like that. But to go at, fans and who knows what they were saying, to the Jets bench and stuff like that. I assume they were not saying many nice things. But you got to be the bigger man, Michael Clemens. You're a millionaire. You're getting paid to play the game. And I might add, you're getting paid to play the game badly. So you have not really done anything in the National Football League to be excited about. So who the hell are you to tell fans, F you, F you, F you? Again, I don't know what they were saying to him or directed towards the Jets bench, but it's just not a good look. Number one, for a shitty team. Number one, for a shitty player on a shitty. Number two, for a shitty player on a shitty team. Just not a good look. Not a good look at all.
Definitely not a good look. Definitely not a good look because the players that Joe Douglas has been trying to bring in here is, culture and good character. That's not a sign of good character if I ever saw it, man, especially when you're not playing individually at your best and the team is losing. That's just not how you want to go out there and look. Now, there was a big positive that happened last night that I kind of want to just talk about because my man Jack won a big bet. Okay,
I was thinking what positive happened, but okay.
It's Jermaine Johnson, and the Jermaine Johnson play connects to you. My man Jack placed a bet last night for the Cleveland Browns and the New York Jets to both get a defensive touchdown. You guys saw Trevor Siemian throw a pick six, and then when Jermaine Johnson got that pick six, my man Jack cashed in on around $2,000. So congratulations to you, Jack. And I'm really, really happy that it was Jermaine Johnson to be the one to make that play.
Me too.
And let's just. And I feel like if you did not win that bet, we wouldn't really be breaking down this Jermaine Johnson play as much because we lost. But how about that play by Jermaine Johnson to win your bet?
I mean, dude. I mean, I wish you could have seen me react to that. because it was
$25 bet turned into $2,000 for Jackie Boy.
$25 to win $2,000, ladies and gentlemen.
I wish I was on that.
And you know what's funny? The Browns defense scored so early into the game. I'm like, I might cash out this bet because it was a $25 bet and it was showing me cash out for like $90. I'm like, hey man, it's highly unlikely that I'm actually going to win. Let me just make, a quick $65 or whatever. But thankfully I let it ride, and Jermaine Johnson, dude. Oh my God, what an unbelievable feeling watching him catch that deflection, run it into the end zone. Unbelievable, dude. Unbelievable feeling. Electric. And guys, if you know me, I mean, Richie knows me, I'm not a gambler. I'm not kidding when I say this was the first and last now that I won for sure bet I placed all season long. So I'm not a gambler. This is not something I do regularly. I placed a random $25 bet last night and cashed out on $2,000 thanks to Jermaine Johnson and whatever his name is on the Cleveland Browns defense that punched one in there
Trevor
as well.
Siemian as well.
Yes, thanks. We'll thank Trevor Siemian. Yeah.
Well, I mean, that play by Jermaine was definitely his highlight of his career. I mean, that just shows you that Jermaine Johnson is an actual star, okay? Like, he can be a disrupting force. He's been breaking out in year number 2, and it's really cool that he got his career moment because he was in Joe Flacco's face, and he jumped up. Joe Flacco hesitates, pump fakes. Jermaine still stays with the motion, stays with Joe Flacco, gets in the passing lane, bats the ball up, catches it. I mean, you just saw athleticism jump off the screen from Jermaine Johnson. That is a special talent, and the Jets have a cornerstone on their defense for the foreseeable future in Jermaine Johnson. And it's cool to see because last year it was a little underwhelming rookie year for Jermaine Johnson, and we were all so excited to get Jermaine Johnson in the draft. And now to see him in year number 2, change his number to 11, and break out into the star that he is, it's nothing short of exciting for the future of that individual player.
Absolutely.
And another just quick little positive I just wanted to give a shout out to Garrett Wilson. He got over 1,000 receiving yards last night. And the only reason why I bring this up is because the Jets, I've been waiting my entire life as a Jets fan to kind of have a household draft pick for a wide receiver to be our guy. And the fact that Garrett Wilson has over 1,000 yards in his first 2 seasons with the New York Jets, with the carousel at quarterback, it deserves to be celebrated a little bit for me because I've just been waiting so long. Everybody that we draft, whether it's Devin Smith in the 2nd round from Ohio State in the 20-something draft, where I'm like, oh, maybe Smith could be a good wide receiver. Trash. I mean, Denzel Mim in round 2. I'm like, oh, maybe Mims could be our number 1 receiver. Trash. I mean, the list goes on. Chad Hansen,
Enunwa,
Quincy.
injuries.
I mean, all the receivers the Jets have drafted throughout my life, I've just been waiting to draft a good receiver, and we finally have one. Elijah Moore, I was sold on, and hopefully he's okay. It was a scary injury last night. Shout out to you, Elijah Moore. Thinking of you. That was very, very scary what happened to you. But Garrett Wilson, man, he is a stud, and he needs to get a quarterback. And I'm telling you right now, if Aaron Rodgers is healthy next year, this guy, Garrett Wilson, is still going to light it up. I just can't wait for it, and hopefully it will happen because he is so good. I don't know how he's doing it, Jack. How? And let me just throw this stat at you. The Jets are ranked 31st in the league in passing offense, but Garrett Wilson still finds a way to get over 1,000 yards. How's that possible?
I don't know. I really don't know, because when you look at these games, like, he just finds ways to get the stats where they need to be, because it's not like we're seeing every time the Jets offense is out there, we're just feeding the ball to Garrett Wilson, Garrett Wilson, Garrett Wilson. There's times in games where like Garrett Wilson doesn't even get a catch until like the second half, So like I really don't know how he's done it, especially with the crappy quarterbacks that have been throwing him the ball now for a 2nd straight year. So I mean, it just truly proves how talented this young man is, and it's phenomenal to see, a homegrown draft pick really blossom into, a potential superstar. I mean, and like you just said it, man. I mean, if we get, a healthy Aaron Rodgers throwing the ball to Garrett Wilson, the sky is truly the limit. And I do want to touch on one other thing, because you mentioned Jermaine Johnson, and seeing Jermaine Johnson take that year 2 leap has been amazing. And it also kind of gives me hope. And I know it might be a stretch to relate the two, but not really, because I think, number one, they play the same position, but they're very different players physically. Jermaine Johnson's year 2 leap gives me optimism to maybe see the same out of Will McDonald next year. That's, I know they're very different players. They're very different. They have different play styles.
I think a good parallel would be is Jermaine did not get a lot of playing time as a rookie, like Will McDonald's not getting a lot of playing time.
Yeah,
now.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I think they can, maybe we can see, we know that, the one thing the Jets are good at developing is defensive players, right? So maybe we can see a big leap from Will McDonald because, I know there's a lot of people out there saying, why the hell did we draft this guy? Why the hell did we draft this guy? And I'm not, on that end of it. I'm still happy that he's here, but you definitely do want to see more production out of your first round draft pick. I mean, last year we had 3 first round draft picks, so it was perfectly acceptable that Jermaine Johnson had a quiet year. He was also injured until like week 9 or something like that. But you would like to see a little more oomph out of the guy you took in the first round. So I'm hoping that this means that Will McDonald is also due for a breakout season next season.
Yeah, and I think a big reason for Jermaine's development is they told Carl Lawson, sorry, you're not a starter. Last year he was a starter. This year Jermaine Johnson became the starter. And you look at the snap count. That was a big topic about this Jets regime that a lot of people didn't like, of the rotation of the defensive line. Jermaine got all the reps this year, and now he is doing his thing. Will McDonald is not getting a lot of opportunities this year, which is a big reason why I don't think he's been able to develop. And I think that's part of their development process. As a rookie, you get a little taste of it. And then next year, with Carl Lawson walking and potentially Bryce Huff walking, which I hope doesn't happen, but still is a possibility, I think Will McDonald is going to be unleashed because I've seen a good flashes of Will McDonald, not only getting to the quarterback and even against the run, which is a big part of his development. So we shall see. And then the last thing I just want to bring up, since we are talking about the year 2 players, Breece Hall, because he was the best player on offense for the Jets last night, had another fantastic game. It kind of feels like Breece Hall is back in a way where the ACL is kind of behind him. It kind of felt like sometime this year you can see a little hesitant from Breece, and he's still trying to figure out his mental and connecting his knee. But right now, I mean, I saw Breece Hall in that first half just like stop on a dime. His vision was excellent, and he is just an absolute weapon. And it was cool to see that touchdown because I'll never forget being at training camp. This is a cool moment for me. This is what happens when I guess you go to every training camp. I'll never forget Breece Hall's first practice back at practice. Remember, he was not practicing at training camp for a while because of the ACL. His first practice returning after his ACL, when it was open to fans, I'll never forget, the Jets were in the red zone, and they literally did the same exact play that they did where Breece Hall scored, where it was a spread out, and Breece Hall was lined up as a receiver. Then he runs a drag underneath, and all the other receivers roll to the left. And then Aaron Rodgers, I'll never forget, threw it to Breece Hall, and Breece Hall scurried up the sideline for a touchdown. And everybody was going wild at training camp. And it was cool because that touchdown that the Jets just had with Breece Hall last night was the same exact play design, same exact play call. So it was cool. I recognized it. I'm like, oh, that's that play. Where was that all season? I don't know, but it was just a little cool connection I made. But Breece Hall's a stud. Garrett Wilson's a stud. No one else is a stud on the offense besides those two. There's a lot of other things that needs to figure out. Now, let's get into the negatives, and then we can get into the callers, because the biggest negative, in my opinion, last night, if you talk about an individual person, Mr. Mekhi Becton, man. And it pains me because I love Mekhi, and so did you, Jack, and we all rooting for him, but he's done a bad season, man, and he seems to be walking out the door this year, and I think it's best for himself and the Jets organization to move on. Definitely devastating stuff for Mekhi. Not only is he giving up sacks, but he's penalized, and the overall offensive line was just not able to really contain that elite Cleveland Browns front seven, which I think we all pretty much expected at that point.
How do you get multiple false start penalties in the same game in your 4th year in the NFL? How does that happen, dude? I just don't get how it happens. And he's Mr. Penalty, and he's Mr. Sack as well. Let's face it. Let's be honest about it. He stinks. He's just not a good football player. His potential was sky high because of his physical attributes. And I think that's about it, man. I've always rooted for Mekhi. I've always loved Mekhi. We haven't heard from her in a while, but Mekhi Becton's mother used to be a regular on the Jets media live streams earlier in Mekhi's career. But listen, man, let's be honest. Mekhi Becton's future with the New York Jets is done. You can't have the year you're currently having in a contract season and expect to be brought back next year. It's just not going to happen. There's no way. Obviously, there's no shot of, tagging him or anything like that. So, yeah, he's done, man. Mekhi Becton's going to walk, and the Jets are going to be looking for maybe a pair of starting tackles this coming season.
The glaring hole of the offseason will continuously be the offensive line until the day I die, it feels like.
And you know what? We're going to get excited about whoever Joe Douglas brings in. We're going to look up his career stats and go, oh, okay, this person might be able to play. And then history tells us that they're going to go out there and stink, most likely, or get hurt. Yeah. Laken Tomlinson has been healthy, right? Laken Tomlinson's available.
Iron Man
stinks.
You see that quarterback sneak that on 4th and inches. The
Oh,
Jets tried to go. That was all because of Laken Tomlinson. I don't know if you saw the replay, but Laken Tomlinson got destroyed on that play, which resulted in the Jets to get stuffed. And just breaking
Is
down
that
the
when
game,
we got bailed out by 12 men on the field?
I think so.
I think that was it, right?
Yeah, we got bailed out. But the one thing about last night's game that I want to bring up is it was really interesting because there's a tale of two halves. The Jets on offense, defense in particular, stunk in the first half. The second half, the Jets defense actually played good football, but it didn't matter because they got themselves in that gigantic hole, and the offense was not good enough to kind of salvage them. The defense gave the offense every single chance to come back, and the comeback was there last night, but they just couldn't figure out a way to get over that hump. That Jermaine Johnson's second touchdown was not called because the refs blew it again. And if this was a more meaningful game, I would be a little more upset with the refs, but I'm not going to blame the refs on anything. But the reality is, I think that the first half is where the Jets lost this game. And Joe Flacco, man, what a story. I mean, it's just sad. It's sad that it had to happen against the Jets. And the streak of the Jets giving up 300-plus yards is over because they have not given up a 300-plus yard quarterback in 33 games. And Joe Flacco ended it last night. What? Joe Flacco had to be the one to end it?
And the refs, man, this little tiny ref. I mean, just pissing me off all night long, dude. And I hate to use it as an excuse, but I mean, how can you tell me that second Jermaine Johnson touchdown wasn't a touchdown?
It was.
How are you going to tell me?
It wasn't touched.
How are you going to tell me that Garrett Wilson, as the ball is still 3 feet away from hitting his hands, how he gets body checked over the middle of the field and it's not a pass interference? How are you going to tell me that the Jets didn't give time for the defense to match up, so they have to blow another play dead?
Even the DJ Reed penalty. Bro, you watch that replay, it was clearly offensive pass interference, and DJ Reed gets called for holding. I mean,
these refs, and we've said it,
and I hate to sound like we're complaining. The Jets would have lost regardless, but it's just like,
of course,
it's just tiring.
But these refs have way too much control, bro. I'm so tired of hearing about, well, New York's looking at it. Oh, let's bring in Terry McAuley. Let's bring in Gene Steratore. And they say, no, I disagree with the call on the field. But the call on the field still stands. What's the point of having super slow-mo replay from 15 different angles and experts from New York and former officials coming on to the broadcast to give their thoughts if the bullshit that's called on the field still stands? I don't understand. And I feel like I'm like living in a twilight zone. I feel like I'm going crazy or something. How is this the NFL, man?
We are going crazy.
It's unbelievable.
Well, I'm excited to bring in you guys and get some callers in the house because it's been a frustrating night and season. And I love hearing from Jets fans because you guys always make me feel good. You know, for voicing your frustrations and letting it all out here is what we like to do. But guys, this video and this live stream, this podcast is powered by BetUS Sportsbook. If you guys want to get a 125% sign-up bonus, you guys can click the link down below in the description and get a 125% sign-up bonus when you sign up today. You put $100 in, you'll get $225. Please bet responsibly. Not only can you gamble on football, they have basketball, of course. They have a lot of different things on BetUS's website.
They also have the casino, which is great because here in New York, that's not a thing on most other fantasy apps, but BetUS, offshore, baby. We love it. Shout out to BetUS.
100%. And here's the casino for those wondering. You guys can take advantage of it, and please bet responsibly.
American blackjack, kid.
The cool thing about it, too, is you can play for fun, where like there's no money involved. So you can just play blackjack for fun, or you can play for real and actually risk some cash. So definitely enjoy everything that BetUS has been bringing. They got a whole same game parlay feature, which is my personal favorite, how I've been making my bets this season. And of course, you can bet on a lot of different, literally everything, even cricket, darts, cycling, even politics, entertainment, volleyball, lacrosse. So a lot of different things there on BetUS, guys. Thank you so much for supporting the Jets Media Podcast. A great way by supporting the Jets Media Podcast is by supporting the brands here on the podcast, which happens to be BetUS Sportsbook. And we're going to hear a quick word from them, and then we're going to open this up to some callers.
BetUS, America's favorite sportsbook, where you can bet on everything, anytime. Sportsbook, casino, horse racing, live betting, and more. We have the best bonuses in the industry. That's right, get a 125% sign-up bonus. And to celebrate our 30-year anniversary, we are giving up to 30 risk-free bets, a truck, Super Bowl tickets, and more. Don't miss out. Play smart. Join now. BetUS, where the game begins.
Shout out to BetUS, where the game begins. All right. We are in the house now. We're going to start bringing in some callers, guys. So click that link that's pinned in the chat if you want to call in and talk about that Jets game last night. Curious to hear what you guys have to say, of course. Definitely going to be an interesting callers. But please, before you call in, I would greatly appreciate it, guys, if you could simply hit that like button on your way in to the show. We got not a lot of likes, in my opinion. Not as much likes as I'd like. So please don't forget to smash that like button right now. Let's see, Jack. How many likes do we got? We have a total of 31 likes. Oh, my gosh. Come on. I know that we lost last night, folks, but we could do better than that. All right, 31 likes. Let's get this up. Let's get the 50 likes right now. Smash the like button. We got a lot of callers waiting, so we're going to try to limit you guys to like a couple minutes each, just so we can make sure we can get to everybody, because I want to make sure everybody has an opportunity to come on here and talk about last night's game. Tony with the super chat says, do you want me to flip the podium over? #clown. Yeah, Salah getting testy with Mr. Rich Cimini last night.
Embarrassing
Indeed. All right. First caller, of course, has to be a Browns fan. What's up, Michael? Congratulations last night. Like, what are you going to say, Michael? Okay, like, you beat us.
Thank you. I'm not going to rub salt in the wound as much as I'd like to. I will say I was actually pretty surprised that we threw as well as we did against you guys. Didn't know your coverage linebackers were that bad. But yeah, it kind of played out the way I thought. I knew we'd get our tight ends more involved with Amari Cooper being out and David Njoku just having himself a day. That's actually like the one question I would put to you. Like, do you think that's something you guys are going to tackle in the draft, is just like linebacker? Because I don't watch a lot of Jets games. I listen to you, and I listen to the AFC East roundtable here and there. But is linebacker, has that been an issue for the Jets? Like, honestly, coverage linebackers, all that stuff?
Honestly, bro, like, they did not play their best football last night, but Quincy Williams and CJ Mosley, I mean, you can look, this is not biased. You can look it up. They're a top linebacker tandem in the NFL. So while they did not have their strongest performance last night, CJ Mosley is, entering the tail end of his career without a doubt. But as of right now, though, they're one of the best tandems in the league. Granted, yeah, I'll give you that. They did not play well
last night. They got torched. And Quincy Williams, who was our other linebacker, who is the older brother of Quinn Williams, he's having a breakout season. He's like one of the only linebackers in the league to have the stat line that he has, which is like 100+ total tackles, 15 tackle for losses, an interception. And so like we do have a great linebacker tandem of CJ Mosley, who's that veteran, and Quincy Williams, that young stud. But the one weakness that they do have is coverage. They're really good at tackling. They're really good at, just shutting down the run and being stoppers, really good at like plugging the holes and blitzing the quarterback and laying the wood. And CJ Mosley's more of that captain and just like organizing everything together. But if there was a weakness that they had, is they're not the greatest in coverage. And you guys definitely exploited that weakness. But they've been able to hide that weakness all season long, because we've never gotten beat that badly by a tight end all year. And David Njoku is a stud. He's my fantasy tight end this year, and he absolutely torched them. So, but I will say, though, Michael, Jets fans have been asking for linebacker help for years, and I've always been the one saying, like, bro, we got our linebackers, we're good. But it's an interesting conversation.
Now, Michael, before we let you go, I just have something for you. Take your Browns bias out of it. You cannot tell me as a football fan that it doesn't bother you watching the Jets get hosed on those calls by the refs. Come on, man. What are we watching here? You telling me that second Jermaine Johnson touchdown wasn't a touchdown? Come on, dude.
That one was. I mean, that call
just say it, Michael. Just say it was a touchdown.
I'm not gonna give you that one. I'll say that it was kind of a blown call. I will say that. But the one call that I thought was fine was the Garrett Wilson that after he got bodied. The safety was looking back over the ball, and Garrett Wilson was stationary, and the ball was coming his way. So technically, that was an open field tackle in the ball play. But as soon as he stopped, like the pass interference kind of stops as well. And after the ball leaves the quarterback's hands. But
all right. I don't know what I was expecting out of you there, Michael, but I figured I would give it a shot. But Michael,
Yeah.
congrats on the win, man. Good luck to your Browns. Congrats on a playoff berth. And
I'm actually rooting, as bad as I admit it, Michael, the Browns, and I don't really root for anybody outside the Jets, but if there was a team I'd prefer to go on a run in the AFC, it would definitely be Joe Flacco and the Browns. They're really hard to root against.
right. Well, here's hoping we make a run. Love to see it. But
Good luck, man.
hope you guys do good in the draft.
thanks, bud. Take care.
Hope you guys do good at the draft. Really? How this?
And now James has a message from Michael.
Yeah, Michael, go fuck yourself. Stop calling it fucking stream, please. Asshole.
James,
Bro,
James, what do you think? Let's not even talk about the garbage real quick. When Jermaine Johnson doesn't get touched, gets up and runs into the end zone, but the play is blown dead. What are you thinking in that moment?
what am I thinking? You know exactly. You know exactly what I'm thinking.
I just don't get it, dude.
Everything is rigged against us. That's exactly what I'm thinking. And that guy, Michael, hey, Michael, stop. Don't fucking call in here anymore. Please, you're a scumbag.
Michael's a good guy. Michael's
No,
a good guy.
And I want
Uh-oh.
Oh no, James, we have your phone muted itself again, James.
Come on, you got to call, James. Here we go. We can't hear you. James, we can't hear you.
James, no audio. We can't hear you.
This poor guy, James.
Oh.
He's clueless. Look at this guy. James! You're getting a call, which means we can't hear you. We can't hear you. We can't hear you.
Oh
It's
God.
because you're getting a phone call, James. Come on, bro. Come on, James.
James.
No, we cannot hear you, bro. It's because you're getting a phone call. Ah. Poor James, bro. My poor James. Come on. Are you there? No,
Nope.
man.
Nope.
Oh, wait. Unmute your mic. Click the unmute button. You mute it. Here. Let me bring you out. Bring you back in. Unmute the mic. I don't know, James. You join back. We're gonna get you back in here. But we got Charles Gorman next.
Charles.
First off, how was your Christmas, guys?
It was good, man. It was good. And then you know, last night soured the taste a little bit.
Well, I knew that was going to happen because the Browns are a very well-coached team, and Joe Flacco's a stud. So I've always liked Joe Flacco.
Me too, man.
Me too, man. So what's going on, Charles?
I watch him at a flea market right now. Calling in to see how you guys are holding up. I know you guys are pissed. I know the referees made some boneheaded calls last night, but to me, that's the least of my concerns. This
Yeah,
coaching
we
staff.
can't blame it. We can't blame the refs.
Next year, if they really want to be considered serious. And, last night was his full performance. Trevor Siemian, he had his moments, but he could have done better. I'm very disappointed with Mekhi Becton. He had a promising rookie.
Mekhi Becton had you said it, bro. Promising rookie year and crap ever since.
On Jay Gashman said once his knees got hurt, he hasn't been the same player. Listen, I wish Mekhi the best of luck. I don't think he's going to be a Jet next year. We'll see what the hell happens. Peace out, guys.
Thank you, Charles. Appreciate you.
Thank you, Charles. James, let's hear that audio.
My bad, bro. You guys got me?
Yeah, we
Yeah,
got
we
you.
do.
We got you.
All right. What do I say? Really, what is there to say at this point? Yesterday was a goddamn travesty. It was pathetic. What is there to say? Really, what is there to say at this point? We got nothing else to say. We suck. The team's fucking terrible. That's it.
You know what's the worst part about it, James? Is that the three of us, you, Richie, and myself, among many others, will most certainly be at opening weekend next year.
Of course.
Because who's bigger suckers than us?
No one. We're fucking stupid.
No one in the world, bro. No one in the world.
And we're gonna still do it. That's the problem. We're still gonna fucking do it. We're gonna do it no matter what. And they know it. And they know it. And they know it. And I was so optimistic. I said maybe we'll end the year 8-9. Nope. Not even close. We got the 37-20 does not even show that fucking game. We got our doors blown off. So if we don't win next week, oh my God, watch. Let me on this fucking thing. If we don't win next week, we need to beat them. We have to beat them. We have to beat the Patriots. We have no option.
We're buddies at this point. We've known each other for a while now. So I think you'll be happy to hear this. Maybe at least this will, shift your view a little bit. I don't know if you heard or not, but I won $2,000 on that game last night.
Good for you.
Let's go, baby.
Good for you, bro.
So you know what?
Good for you.
All the garbage that we've witnessed this year, at least I can hang my hat on that.
Exactly.
It paid for all my tickets that I went to the stadium. It paid for the jersey that I bought. It paid for all the crap that I wasted money on this year.
For sure. And you know what the disgusting part about that is? We need to bank on winning bets for our year.
For our sanity.
Yeah. That's disgusting.
Well, that's true.
James, we love you, bro.
Much
love. I love you guys.
Love you too, brother. We appreciate it. Glad that we got you back on and got the audio through because we had to hear everything our guys James had to say.
Yes, sir.
Guys, don't forget to simply hit the like button on your way in. Let's get into the next caller.
Mikhail.
What's up, man?
What's up, guys? How you doing? Can you hear me well?
Good. How are you?
Yeah, there's a slight echo.
Oh my God! Just a second. Give me a sec.
No problem.
Mikhail calling in from Israel.
Oh yeah, baby. We got a lot of work to do here.
Echo.
Still
What
there.
about now?
Echo. It's gone.
Still?
All right, there you go.
Okay, very good. Again? Oh my God. Okay. If you want, I'll call you back. Just next caller.
No,
all right. Let me just.
You're good, man.
I'm fine. I'm
You're
good. Okay.
Yeah, you sound
Okay.
good. What do you got to say,
Good.
man?
Man. Remember the conversation we talked about, Richie, about the coaching?
Yes.
Well, here it is. Yeah, this is the reality of the team. It's always like this at the end of the season. This is the reality of the team. You see what I'm talking about? It's unbelievable. They had more. He was injured. These guys, they did not have their, the first strings players. And look what they did. And Njoku, how the hell this guy is going to be, I'm pretty sure that he's going to be a future Hall of Famer. How can you leave him like this? Wide open. He was doing everything he wanted. And the linebacker was like miles away from, man, it's Njoku. I just don't understand the scheme, man. I don't understand the scheme. We talked about this long time ago. Against the run, we suck too. The missed tackles. Did you see the touchdown?
Which one?
The second one, the one that he broke like millions of tackles.
Yeah,
I think the second one.
Jordan Whitehead with another.
Yeah, he was like on his face. What's his name? Quinnen. Quinnen couldn't get to him.
Flacco somehow, some way, just makes a play.
Oh man, we don't do that.
No.
You see what I'm talking about? They do that with third stringer, but we can't do that with the first one. Coaching.
And I went down. I put the hammer down on the coaching in this show. That was my first point, and it's been unfortunate. Well, Mikhail, we appreciate the call. We're gonna have to get to the next caller because we got a lot of people waiting. But we appreciate you, my friend. Thank you so much for the support.
No
Thank
problem.
you, my friend.
Thank you.
All right, guys. That's Mikhail.
Sad, man.
Up next, we got Jets fan Jordan.
What's up, bro?
going on, guys?
How you doing, buddy?
Here. Gosh, I will say one of the biggest things, my biggest takeaway from this game specifically, is that I am no longer sold on Robert Saleh. I've defended him for the majority of the season because he's actually brought energy. And for our last two coaches we've had, Todd Bowles, Adam Gase, awful, had zero emotion. At least when we're doing good, Robert Saleh's like, oh, like yelling and everything. But of course, like you guys mentioned in the last episode, when we're losing, he's just deer in the headlights doing nothing. And yeah, I think Saleh's got to go. Then my other thought is, who do we bring in?
Who even wants the job?
And then the saddest reality, Jordan, is he ain't going nowhere. So there's no even conversation to have about it. That's the weird thing about it. It's like we can't even think about who we go and replace Saleh with because he's not going anywhere.
If Mike Tomlin becomes available and Woody Johnson is too stuck in his ways to not even reach out and see if there's any interest between the two teams.
First of all, why would the Steelers ever even not like? Why would they get rid of Tomlin? That would be crazy.
I mean, it's
his first losing season of his career and 10 plus seasons. All right, Tomlin, you're out of here.
I know. You just gotta hope they don't listen to the fan base. The fan base wants him out.
Weird. So
no, a lot of these other fan bases, they're so privileged in experiencing wins all the time. Like New England fans, all of a sudden, I guess when they first had Mac Jones, obviously now they've really been brought down to earth. But even that first season, they got out it was the last season with Tom Brady when they got eliminated off that pick six against, I want to say it was the Titans like a couple of years ago, but they were booing Tom Brady. They were booing the guy that won them 6 championships and tormented our fan base for the past 20 years. And then it's just ridiculous. For us, we're so used to losing that, versus these other fan bases like, oh, Mike Tomlin, you got us a losing season, get him out of here. But anyway, yes, if he becomes available, I say we should scoop him up, but it seems like that's not going to happen.
Doesn't seem likely, Jordan. And
Jordan, we appreciate the call. And listen,
the call, brother.
I'm right there with you, Jordan. And again, man, thank you so much for the call because I've been defending Saleh and just kind of believing in him. And as the season kept going, it just been slowly dissipating. Because again, we already talked about it, but there is no excuse for coach. There really isn't. There's not one excuse I could think of. He had to deal with this. Yeah, he had to deal with that. Well, good coaches find a way to win in those situations. He has not been able to do it. And
Correct.
It's just very, very frustrating. All right, next up, we have another legend, Ricky. New York is up next. Ricky! Bro, you have your own flag that says
What's
Ricky
happening,
New York?
guys?
That is awesome.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Not used to losing. I'll never be used to losing. And, I'm fucking pissed after that because I don't even – the Browns are a good team that they beat us so much as we beat ourselves. I mean, the Michael Carter interception that was right in his hands that somehow turned into a catch for more was just crazy. But we should have had 3 picks in that first half. That game should not have gone the way that it did. That second Jerome Ford touchdown was just disgusting because he wasn't breaking tackles. It was just bad angles and whiffs. It was ridiculous to watch. Yep. And the Jermaine touchdown that didn't stand because the guy blew the whistle. I mean, that's the second time this year that the refs have gotten Jermaine because they did the non-call in the Kansas City game that where he got held that basically cost us that game. And, poor Jermaine, but the refs have been brutal. I can't blame them because, like I said, I think we beat ourselves. And it just really fucking pisses me off. Yeah. And as far as Mekhi Becton, he gives up the most sacks in the league and is the most penalized tackle in the league.
Ridiculous.
And I was one of those people that thought, until he got hurt, he was playing okay. But then I went back and looked at it, and he was number 4 as far as the most sacks given up and number 2 in penalties before his ass got hurt. So,
not good.
I'm done with him. People think he can be the swing tackle, whatever. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree, Ricky. Thank you so much for the call, Ricky. We appreciate you as always. The OG. Always appreciate
Ricky, man. Always appreciate Ricky.
Man,
Always
he's got-
appreciate all you guys,
He's got
man.
the coolest Jets gear, I think. No offense to any of you other callers, but I think Ricky's the number one caller in terms of just like presence of Jets gear. It's very unique. Like he gets stuff I've never seen existed. This guy. So
I love it.
he's got his own flag. Come on.
I love it.
Where are the callers' flags? I want a
love the
Charles
passion.
Gorman. I want a Charles Gorman flag behind you. I want Johnny to get a Johnny flag behind him. Come on. I'm just messing with you guys. We appreciate all the callers. Shout out to you, Ricky. Next up, we have two Johnnies up next.
We have JKP
First,
Johnny.
we have JKP Johnny. What's up, JKP Johnny?
I feel so bad for Jets fans, man.
Oh, man.
Like
Bills or Dolphins?
Dolphins.
Uh,
Like every single year, man. Like, how do y'all even go through this? And y'all could support any other New York team, any other, the Bills.
the Bills
though I
aren't
hate
New
the
York in my eyes,
Oh,
though,
stop
man.
it.
They're from Canada.
Stop. What are you saying, dude?
You know?
You're gonna go support the Buccaneers if the Dolphins start doing crap?
Hell nah.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Come on, man. No.
But
Loyalty,
damn, bro,
baby.
like,
Loyalty.
every single week, bro. Your team has never been that good, man. At least I thought y'all would have been good this season, but
We all did.
y'all should really get that. Y'all should really get that turf check, man. Y'all should really get rid of turf in general.
But my question is, how come you haven't abandoned the Dolphins if they haven't won a playoff game in 23 years? Like, have you been surviving
we
for
will
these
this
past 23
season.
years?
We will this season.
No, I'm just saying, though, you've been through 23 years of not good football. So I'm just making a point. You're
Right
still a
there with
Dolphins
us,
fan.
basically.
You're
Yeah.
Am I wrong? You're good this year. Congrats. But like all the years leading up to this year, the Dolphins have done nothing, just like the Jets. So
We're
But the thing is,
basically
the
basically
thing is,
living the
we make
same
the-
life as fans.
But the thing is, we actually made the playoffs more. But like, is the winning part? Yeah, I understand that is the winning part. But like, now making the playoffs for like 14 years now. Am I right?
yeah,
Just
I mean,
about
at lea-
13 years.
but
God,
when the Jets made the playoffs last, they made it to the championship back-to-back years. So we know how to win when we get into the dance, at least. You know, we'll
But-
see if the Dolphins could do that this year.
a decade and almost a half of not making it to the playoffs.
I mean, come on, man. Don't make me say it again.
Come on, Johnny.
23
Come
plus
on,
years
Johnny.
with no touch, with no
Come on,
playoff
Johnny.
victory, man. That's what my thing with Dolphins fans. If you're gonna bring up our playoff drought, you have a drought that's even worse, in my opinion, man. But you have a very good chance of ending that this year. Let me say, I'll finish it off with this: you better end that drought this year.
Yeah, I mean, man, there's no excuses left for the Dolphins if it's another first round bounce out this year. Come on, man.
We will, but like last thing, right before I go. Do you think y'all will actually fire Salah and Hackett, or are
No.
y'all just gonna stay with them?
No,
So
Woody Johnson,
we-
the owner, basically.
Thank you for the call, Johnny. We appreciate it.
Woody Johnson, the owner, basically confirmed that all of these guys will be back next year. Not Woody Johnson. Robert Saleh, Nathaniel Hackett, Joe Douglas, they'll all be back. What do you think's going to happen with a guy like Ulbrich? You think Ulbrich is going to get any calls this offseason?
I think he might get calls and get interviews, but I don't think he'll get hired as a head coach.
Yeah.
I think that people will probably, because there's a lot of guys that like get interviews, and that's when you know they're on their way to be a head coach. But
Yeah.
I mean, the job that Jeff Ulbrich has done, and like even just watching Hard Knocks and watching him in that setting, he kind of has a head coach feel, just like a good leader of men. That
And it's got to be, it's got to just be a money thing, right? I mean, because some people, I feel like Ulbrich might be this guy. Salah's certainly this guy. Todd Bowles was that guy. Rex Ryan might have even been that guy, although he was, the most successful head coach that I've ever seen in my lifetime. But why not just pay coordinators the money they deserve to remain at the job they're the best at?
Because also you got to think of it from a coordinator's perspective. They are working their tail off to be a head coach. It's kind of like that last drive.
Well, I'm saying, like, maybe all these guys not everybody has an aspiration to be a head coach. I mean, maybe most of them do, but like if you're getting paid, if you're the best defensive coordinator in football, shouldn't you be getting paid like our head coach is getting paid? That's my point, at least. Like, why would I don't think there would be as much incentive for these good coordinators to want to become head coaches if it wasn't for the obvious money gap. Some of these guys are better suited to just be coordinators.
Yeah. And then, their ego gets involved. It's like, you know what? Maybe I can be a head coach. Maybe I want to go lead my own team and orchestrate my own system. And it's that a feeling of like a new sense of building something new somewhere else.
Mhm.
And you see that across the league. Great offensive coordinator becomes a coach. Great defensive coordinator becomes a coach. And hey, man, if Jeff Ulbrich becomes a coach, probably not this year, but next year, that's also a good thing because that means the Jets are keep doing
Shout out to him.
things. So the one coach on this team that deserves a lot of credit is definitely Mr. Jeff Ulbrich. And another position coach that I think is the best position coach that we have on this entire team is Tony Oden, the Jets defensive backs coach. Because that guy, especially when you look back on the Eagles game when we had Craig James and Bryce Hall as the starting corners that just came off the street and played excellent. That just shows you coaching, and that's something we have not seen across other position groups. With
the
injuries.
the defensive coaches need their flowers. White Cotton for sure. I don't remember the linebackers coach off the top of my head.
I have his face in my head right now, but I forgot his name. But yeah, every single position coach on defense deserves their flowers, man.
But I mean, it's upsetting that we both don't remember the linebackers coach name because the development of Quincy Williams has been like the most fun thing about this year.
Mike Rutenberg. Rutenberg. Let's go. All right, Mike Rutenberg, you deserve our flowers. So,
Mike Rutenberg, we love you, buddy. Sorry that we didn't know your name, but now we'll never forget it.
He was the big guy for the Jets Senior Bowl. I remember. I think he was like the defensive coordinator for that Senior Bowl year. So he was a good guy. All right, let's get into the next call. We got Poppy says trade our first for Travis Kelce and a third for Jason. Pick up T. Higgins, re-sign Huff, and then you might as well bring in Taylor Swift. I mean, that's not happening, Poppy. I mean, as awesome as that would be, very unrealistic. Very unrealistic right there. Sorry, my friend. But Poppy, we appreciate the super chat. Next up, Mr. Johnny himself. He's outside, hoodie up. He's done with the Jets.
Yeah, bro, it's Brick out here. And first of all, what is up with all these other callers calling in just to talk junk? A Dolphins fan that hasn't done nothing in 150 years. I think the last time Rose was on the Titanic doing something. You know what I mean? And the other cat from the Browns, bro. I mean, cool. You beat the Jets that are not good right now. Congratulations.
Rent free, Johnny. Rent free.
Yeah, for real, dude.
I'm gonna start charging rent though. I'm trying to get
both squads gonna get knocked out quick and everything. Now, anyways, bro, I don't think at this point we're pissed anymore. We're just like, please let the season be over. I don't want to watch any more of these Jet games, even though I watch them every single time they play. Bro, I drove 8 hours to Georgia, right, just to make sure I made it in time to go ahead and watch this game yesterday. And I was like, what am I doing with my life? Life choices, right? But I don't think the whole thing with Ulbrich, I think we were having that conversation a while back. I don't think he's going to get any phone calls just off the simple fact the total wins that he has. I know a lot of these coaches, when they go ahead and get these calls, is because they're coming. If we would have done really well, I think he would have gotten some calls, but we're getting blown out, bro. And I don't want our squad next year to be like 85 Bears. Like, they need to chill, relax. Let's just go ahead, get some numbers, get the job done. Playoffs is a must. I don't care what they got to do. If they got to, sacrifice Joe Namath and to get us over that hump, man. I mean, bro, it's at that point.
What does that mean?
Oh, the Namath curse, man. Joe
How do we sacrifice Joe Namath? What are you insinuating?
Well, he's insinuating that Namath has got to go. That's what he's insinuating. He's insinuating Namath's time is up.
It's done, man.
We need him gone.
I love Joe. He's had all his women. He's had all his flowers already. He's good, man. He's lived a long, great life and everything. But dude, it's just bad, bro. And then we got people just like the Patriots next week, bro.
We're losing that game, dude. I'm telling you already, we're not winning.
We're getting bodied again, bro. Like I said it before, like we're not winning another game until the preseason again, when we're like these juggernauts in the preseason, man. And it's
Kings
just
of August.
Because Bill Belichick, if this is his last year, he's gonna give us that final middle finger to the Jets, unfortunately, man. But you know what? It's still Jets, guys.
Thank you, Johnny. We appreciate you as always, bro. You've been a consistent caller throughout all of it, and salute to you, my friend. Salute to Johnny. Salute to Johnny. Round of applause to Johnny.
All right, guys, we got 2 more callers to get through before we wrap up today's episode of the Jets Media Podcast. Win, you are on the show. What's up, Win?
Yo, what's going on? What's going on?
What's up, bro?
It's just painful, man. I just want the season to end so fucking bad.
Right around the
Like,
corner, Win.
From top to bottom, it's just horrible. Like, I was a big let's get to the key points. We got to have a conversation. The Jets defense, I love us. We are a great defense, but damn it, our safeties are so damn bad. Like, Jordan Whitehead is so bad. Like, it's not even funny. He can't cover. Every time he want to tackle, he just try to hit stick somebody. They bounce off. Like, he is so bad. Tony Adams, one good little good training camp. He's mid at best. Like, it's so, we have to be honest with these Jet safeties. Like, I love us, but those 2 guys back there.
Hey, man, Tony Adams isn't as bad as you think. I mean, come on now. I mean, Jordan Whitehead, I can agree with. I don't know, bro. Tony Adams had a pretty good season, dude. I mean, you're going to base off one half of football and forget about the rest of the whole season?
Man, he's mid at best. I'm sorry about that. I'm sorry. He's
It's okay.
But then we
That's
got to
all right,
get
man.
down to the offensive line. Oh my goodness, it's horrible in that too. It's just bad. We got Billy Turner playing like it's just bad. You know, like the Jets team is just so bad. Now I have to ask y'all a question. Would y'all, since everybody agreeing to like say cut Lakin, would y'all sign Connor McGovern back to run a Tippmann, McGovern, and AVT guard, center guard lineup?
Well, that's a great question, Wayne, and we appreciate the call. Connor McGovern going down was a big blow to this offensive line, and it kind of opened up the door for Tippmann to be the starting center, which, by the way, I think Tippmann has really solidified himself as the center for the future, especially just, next year. We'll see if he can prove to be the guy for the next decade or so. He's still got a long way to go. But I would personally love to bring back McGovern, but not as a starter. I like him as a depth. I think AVT comes back, and then you get rid of Tomlinson, and then you bring in another big name at that guard spot, and you still can bring back McGovern. Remember, we re-signed him on a 1-year cheap deal. If the Jets can do that again, him coming off an injury for depth purposes, we know that the Jets are banged up all over the board. I'd be all for it, but I would not want a McGovern, Tippmann, and AVT starting interior.
McGovern is the kind of backup we need. We need a starting caliber backup for every spot on the offensive line. We need 10 starting offensive linemen. We don't need 5 starting offensive linemen. We need 10. We need 5 to start and 5 starting caliber guys to come in when inevitably they all get hurt. Because, what are we talking about?
Yeah, sad. All right, last caller, Mr. Stanton.
Yo,
what's up, bro?
Mr. Buffalo Bill himself, Stanton, doing some laundry today.
A respectful AFC East rival.
Crazy game last night. I love Brees Hall, man. I was really upset when we didn't get a chance to draft him. You guys moved up and got him because I really
Bills fans are really pissed, especially Rico. Rico was still pissed about that.
Oh yeah, shout out to Rico from Buffalo Fanatics. Rough game last night. Defense, gave your offense opportunities. I was really pissed about that when they didn't call that defensive return touchdown, which they blew the whistle early. Definitely, I would say if you had gotten that, you definitely would have came back and won the game. But that's just my opinion. Robert Saleh, poor clock management, in my opinion. It's just my opinion. I mean, you don't have to agree with me, but seeing this Jets team as a whole, you guys, you have your issues, but at the same time, I'm saying you just gotta fix some things up here and there. And I agree with Jack now. Maybe Robert Saleh, but there's nothing you can do about it because he's coming back. So maybe he isn't the answer. But at the end of the day, you guys, you put up a good fight. I still love your defense. I still think your defense is number 1 in the NFL. So that's all I have to say. So you guys. It was sort of exciting game last night. I was on the Bleacher Report when Richie was doing his and I put
rant
sections saying Saleh needs to go, get rid of Hackett and stuff. And just real quick, the Jets are my second favorite team. If the Bills did not exist, the Jets would be my team because
all right,
that's awesome.
Choosing between both of them, so I picked the Bills. But all right, guys.
All right, man.
Stanton, thank you so much for the call. Thank you so much for being a consistent
Appreciate you,
supporter and a caller on the show, man. It's awesome to have a Bills fan come on here and show the Jets some love. And Stanton's a great dude, man. We appreciate that.
Yeah, he's a good guy. Very good guy. Thank you, buddy.
Thank you, Stanton. We appreciate you big time.
And guys, that
Lascelles says, I want to call in. Sorry, Lascelles, we have to cut the show short today because we have some other things going on in the personal life that we have to get out of here.
I got to bounce.
So we appreciate the call, the super chat, Lascelles, but we'll definitely have you on next week for sure.
Lascelles, you'll get priority next time. I promise you that, buddy.
Barney with the final super chat of the show. Positive vibes. Jermaine Johnson touchdowns. Should have been touchdowns. Saw 6.5. 6.5 what? I don't know. Garrett Wilson, 1,000 yards. Rodgers healing up. Salah won 18 games in first 3 years. The great Belichick only won 20. All right, Barney. We needed some type of positive vibes, even if it's delusional positive take to finish off the pod. You know I'll sip any positive delusional juice you could possibly feed me to finish it off. So I'll take that. Okay, Belichick only won 20 games in his first 3 years. That means Robert Saleh is about to be a better head coach than Bill Belichick, and Saleh is on his way to be a 6-time Super Bowl champion for these New York Jets. Let's freaking go. Barney, just messing with you, my man.
Amen to that.
Oh, 6 yards per carry for
Breece Hall,
Breece.
not Sauce.
Okay, makes sense. And that is true. Those are the positives. And the last thing, that we have to say, the only positives of the Jets are the draft class last year. Sauce, Garrett, Breece, and Jermaine Johnson. Like, it's pretty hilarious how that draft class is the Jets.
Yep.
And, of course, Quinnen Williams and all the other guys, but you guys don't need me to remind you about that. All right, folks, that's going to wrap up the show. Thank you all so much for tuning in. Hit that like button on your way out. We love you all. Enjoy this weekend, and Happy New Year.
Happy New Year, everybody.
Peace out, guys.
Peace.